Mina's scream pierced through the penthouse as another contraction hit. Ji-hoon gripped her hand, his tattooed knuckles white with tension, his usually controlled face cracked with fear. You're doing so well, baby. Just breathe, he whispered against her temple, but his voice shook. Don't tell me to breathe, she gasped, squeezing his hand so hard he winced. You did this to me. I know. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you too, but I also hate you right now. Another contraction. Harder. Faster. The doctor's face went pale. We need to get her to surgery. Now. The baby's heart rate is dropping. Ji-hoon's world stopped. What? Mr. Kang, we need to do an emergency C-section or we'll lose them both. Terror, pure, primal terror, flooded his veins. This was different from guns, from threats, from everything he'd ever faced. This he couldn't control, couldn't fight, couldn't fix. Ji-hoon, Mina grabbed his face, her eyes fierce despite the pain. I'm going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Do you hear me? You can't promise that. Watch me. They wheeled her away, and for the first time since he was a boy watching his mother's funeral, King Ji-hoon fell to his knees and prayed. But let's back up. Let's go to 6 months earlier when everything was perfect. When they thought the war was over. When they believed love had finally won. They had no idea the real storm was just beginning. If you watched part 1 and loved it, you're about to lose your mind with part 2. Hit that subscribe button right now because this finale has everything. Action, betrayal, romance, and a twist that'll have you screaming at your screen. Drop a comment telling me you're ready and let's finish this story. Here we go. 3 months into Mina's pregnancy, life had never been better. The morning sickness had finally passed, and she glowed. Ji-hoon couldn't stop touching her growing belly, her face, her hand. It was like he needed constant confirmation that she was real, that this life was real. You're staring again, Mina said without looking up from her breakfast. She sat at their penthouse kitchen island, wearing one of his oversized shirts, her natural hair in a silk bonnet, eating pickles and ice cream. I'm appreciating. You're hovering. I'm protecting my investment, he teased, moving behind her to wrap his arms around her, his hands settling on her small bump. She leaned back into him. Your investment is going to kick you soon. The baby doesn't like it when you're too controlling. Already taking after their mother. Good. He kissed her neck. I have a meeting this afternoon. Legitimate business. A tech company wants us to invest in their new AI platform. Look at you, Mr. Legitimate Businessman. It's strange. No weapons. No threats. Just contracts and handshakes. Do you miss it? The old life. He turned her chair to face him, kneeling so they were eye level. I miss nothing about that life. This, you, our baby, boring business meetings, this is everything. She cupped his face. Who are you and what did you do with the cold Mafia boss I met? You destroyed him. Built someone better in his place. So dramatic. You love it. I really do. Their moment was interrupted by Minjun bursting through the door, his face grave. Boss, we have a problem. Ji-hoon stood immediately, his body language shifting from soft husband to lethal leader in a heartbeat. What kind of problem? The kind that just walked out of a demon prison after 15 years. Minjun pulled up a photo on his tablet. Kwon Dae-young. Your father's former right hand. He was released this morning on good behavior. The blood drained from Ji-hoon's face. Mina stood, sensing his fear. Who is he? My father's monster, Ji-hoon said quietly. The man who did all the things my father didn't want to dirty his own hands with. He was convicted of murder, torture, racketeering. Should have been in for life, but apparently his lawyers found a loophole. Why is that a problem? You've gone legitimate. You're out of that world. Minjun and Ji-hoon exchanged looks. Kwon doesn't see it that way, Minjun said. He's already been making calls. Reaching out to old contacts. Word is he thinks the organization belongs to him. That he's been holding it in trust while he was inside. That's insane, Mina said. That's Kwon, Ji-hoon replied. He's brilliant and completely unhinged. And he blames me for his conviction. I testified against him. I was 17. My father ordered me to do it to protect the organization. Kwon took the fall for crimes we all committed. Ji-hoon ran his hand through his hair. He swore he'd make me pay. I just thought I'd have more time. Mina grabbed his hand. What do we do? We increased security. Triple the guards. No one gets near you or this penthouse. I meant, what do we do? Together. He looked at her belly, then her face. You're pregnant. You're not doing anything except staying safe. Ji-hoon. No. Not this time. Not with our baby. His voice was steel. I'll handle Kwon. You focus on staying alive. But Kwon Daejong wasn't a man who waited to be handled. That night, Mina's dance studio burned to the ground. She stood across the street, Ji-hoon's arms around her, watching 15 months of dreams turn to ash. Firefighters battled the blaze, but it was already too late. Everything was gone. He did this, she whispered. We don't know that. Don't lie to me. You promised you'd never lie to me. She turned in his arms. He's sending a message. And I'll send one back. With what? Violence? I thought we were done with that. We are. But he's not. Ji-hoon's jaw clenched. I won't let him destroy what we've built. Min-jun approached with his phone. Boss, you need to hear this. He played a voicemail. A rough, smoke-damaged voice filled the air. Hello, Ji-hoona. Did you like my gift? That's for the 15 years I spent in a cage while you played king. But don't worry, I'm just getting started. You took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from you. Starting with that pretty foreign wife and the bastard she's carrying. Sleep well. Mina felt Ji-hoon's whole body turn to stone. When she looked up at his face, she saw the monster he used to be staring back through his eyes. Get her to the safe house, he told Min-jun. Now. I'm not going anywhere without you, Mina protested. Yes, you are. Ji-hoon. Please. He grabbed her face, and she saw something she'd never seen before. Pure terror. Please, Mina. I can't think straight if I'm worried about you. I can't be strategic if I'm watching over my shoulder every second. I need to know you're safe so I can end this. How are you going to end it? However I have to. She grabbed his wrists. Don't go back to being him. Don't let Kwon turn you back into your father's son. If being my father's son keeps you alive, then that's what I'll be. They stood in the firelight, the heat from her burning dreams washing over them, and Mina realized that the peaceful life they'd built was already gone. The safe house was a luxury apartment in Jeju Island, 3 hours from Seoul. Mina hated it immediately. It was beautiful ocean views, marble floors, every amenity, but it was a cage. She had 4 guards outside her door. 2 more in the lobby. Ji-hoon called every hour, but the conversations were short, tense. He was hunting Kwon, and she could hear him slipping further into his old self with each call. Did you eat? He'd ask. Yes. Did you sleep? I'll sleep when this is over. Ji-hoon, you sound tired. I'm fine. You're not fine. Come here. Be with me. I can't. Not until he's handled. Handled how? Silence. You promised me the truth. Always. More silence. Then, I'm doing what needs to be done. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now. His voice softened. How's our baby? She placed her hand on her growing belly. Active. I think the baby misses you. I miss both of you. So much it physically hurts. Then come here. Soon. I promise. A pause. I love you, Mina. Everything I'm doing is to protect you. I know. I love you too. Just, don't lose yourself in the process. But she feared it was already too late. On the 5th day in Jeju, Mina woke to strange sounds. She checked her phone, 3:47 a.m. No messages from Ji-hoon, which was unusual. He always texted her goodnight. She walked to the door and listened. Nothing. No guards talking. No footsteps. Just eerie silence. Her heart started racing. She grabbed her phone and called Min-jun. It went straight to voicemail. She tried Ji-hoon. Same thing. Then she heard it, a phone ringing outside her door. She looked through the peephole and her blood ran cold. Her guard's phone was ringing on the floor, next to a pool of blood. She backed away slowly, her mind racing. The safe house had been compromised. She needed to run, hide, anything. Her hand moved to her belly protectively. The door exploded inward. 3 men in black masks rushed in. Mina grabbed a lamp and swung it at the first one, catching him in the temple. He went down. The second grabbed her arm, but she'd been taking self-defense classes since the Seoyeon incident. She twisted, used his momentum against him, and drove her knee into his groin. But the third one was faster. stronger. He caught her from behind, and she felt a sharp prick in her neck. No, she gasped, thinking of her baby. Please no. The world went dark. When Mina woke, her head was pounding and her mouth was dry. She was in a warehouse abandoned, judging by the rust and decay. Her hands were zip-tied to a chair, but loosely. Amateurs. Finally awake. She looked up. A man in his 60s stood before her, scarred face, cold eyes, the bearing of someone who'd spent decades in violence. Kwon Dae-young. Where's my husband? She demanded. Kwon laughed. Your husband? Is that what you call him? The boy who betrayed his own father's legacy. He circled her like a shark. Ji-hoon's probably tearing Seoul apart looking for you right now. Good. Let him suffer. What do you want? What I'm owed. The organization. The power. The empire that should have been mine. He leaned close. Ji-hoon's father promised me. We built that kingdom together. But when the police came, he threw me to the wolves. Made his own son testify against me. Ji-hoon was a child. He was a traitor. Just like his father. Kwon's eyes glittered with madness. But I'm patient. I spent 15 years planning this. And now I'm going to take everything. The organization. The money. And his reason for going soft. He touched Mina's belly. She jerked away. Touch me again and it'll be the last thing you do. Brave. I see why he likes you. Kwon pulled out a phone. Let's call him, shall we? He dialed. Ji-hoon answered on the first ring. Where is she? His voice was lethal calm. Safe. For now. Hello, Ji-hoona. Miss me? Kwon, if you hurt her. You'll what? Kill me? I've been dead for 15 years. Prison is death. But now I'm resurrected, and I'm taking back what's mine. The organization is gone. I've dismantled it. There's nothing left to take. Liar. You've just hidden it better. Gone, legitimate. He spat the word. Your father would be ashamed. We didn't build an empire so you could turn it into some corporate joke. My father is dead. His empire died with him. I built something new. Then I'll burn your new empire and rebuild the old one. Starting with your whore and her baby. Mina heard Ji-hoon's sharp intake of breath. When he spoke again, his voice was ice. Name your terms. The organization. All of it. Every asset, every contact, every dollar. Sign it over to me, and I'll let them live. How do I know you won't kill them anyway? You don't. But it's the only chance you have. Kwon smiled at Mina. You have 6 hours. Come alone to the old shipping yard at the port. Bring the transfer documents. Try anything, and I'll get her like a fish and make you watch. He hung up. Mina's mind raced. He's going to kill me anyway. Probably. But let's see if love makes your husband stupid. Kwon nodded to his men. Watch her. Don't touch her. Not yet. I want Ji-hoon to see her alive before I end her. As soon as Kwon left the room, Mina started working on her zip ties. They'd tied them in front, mistake number 1. She was pregnant, not helpless. You're loving this drama, right? Drop a like right now and comment, save Mina if you're on the edge of your seat. And if you haven't subscribed, do it now because this ending is going to blow your mind. Back to the story. Ji-hoon stood in his penthouse surrounded by his inner circle. Min-jun, 3 of his most trusted men, and a weapons cache that proved he'd never really left his old life behind. We go in hard, one of his men said. 20 soldiers. Light the place up. No, Ji-hoon said quietly. He'll kill her the moment he sees an army coming. Then what do you suggest? Ji-hoon loaded a gun with practiced ease. I give him what he wants. Boss, you can't. I can. I will. He looked up, and his eyes were dead. I've spent 6 months pretending I could wash the blood off my hands. Pretending I could be someone worthy of her. But Kwon's right about one thing. I'm my father's son. And my father would burn the world for what he loved. What's the plan? Min-jun asked. I'm going to give Kwon the organization. All of it. Every dirty secret, every hidden account, every contact. Ji-hoon smiled, cold and terrible. And then I'm going to kill him and everyone who helped him. And Mina will hopefully forgive me for becoming the monster she fell in love with. Meanwhile, Mina had gotten her hands free. The guards were outside the room, smoking and talking. She had minutes, maybe less. She looked around the warehouse room. 1 window too high. 1 door guarded. but there was a ventilation grate in the corner. Small, but she was desperate. She moved quickly and quietly, using a piece of broken metal to unscrew the grate. It was slow, agonizing work. Her hands shook. Her belly made it hard to bend. But she thought of her baby, of Ji-hoon, of the life they'd built. She got 3 screws out. The 4th was stuck. The door opened. A guard looked in. His eyes widened when he saw her empty chair. Mina didn't think. She grabbed the grate cover and swung it like a weapon, catching him across the face. He stumbled back, and she ran, pregnant belly and all, straight past him. The warehouse erupted in shouts. Footsteps pounded behind her. She ran through corridors of rusted metal and broken dreams, her breath coming in gasps, her hand protecting her belly. She burst outside into the night. The port stretched before her, shipping containers, cranes, darkness. She ran toward them, praying she could hide. A gunshot rang out. She dove behind a container as bullets sparked off metal. Her heart hammered. She couldn't keep running. She was 5 months pregnant. She needed help. She pulled out her phone, miraculously still in her pocket, and called Ji-hoon. He answered instantly. Mina? Where are you? Port District. Shipping yard. I escaped, but they're another gunshot. They're shooting at me. Stay on the phone. Stay hidden. I'm 15 minutes away. Ji-hoon, Kwon is insane. He's going to kill us both no matter what you give him. I know. That's why I'm not giving him anything except a bullet. His voice softened. Are you hurt? Is the baby? We're okay. Scared but okay. You're the bravest person I know. Stay alive for 15 more minutes. Can you do that? Can you? For you? I'd stay alive through hell. I love you. I love you more. Now hide and let me do what I do best. Mina crouched behind the shipping container, her phone clutched in one hand, the other on her belly. She could hear Kwon's men searching for her, their voices getting closer. She prayed Ji-hoon would get there in time. She prayed their baby would get to meet its father. She prayed that love would be enough. 13 minutes later, Ji-hoon's convoy rolled into the port like an invading army. 10 cars. 30 men. Enough firepower to start a war. Kwon was waiting at the center of the yard with 20 of his own soldiers. When he saw Ji-hoon's force, he smiled. I said come alone. Ji-hoon stepped out of his car, flanked by Min-jun. You said a lot of things. I stopped listening. Where are the transfer documents? Where's my wife? She escaped. Impressive woman. Stupid, but impressive. Kwon gestured to the maze of containers. My men are hunting her now. Pregnant woman can't run forever. Ji-hoon's control snapped. He pulled his gun and aimed it at Kwon's head. Immediately, 40 guns from both sides raised and cocked. Call them off, Ji-hoon said quietly. Now. Or what? You'll shoot me? Then my men kill you, your men kill them, and in the chaos, your wife bleeds out alone. Is that how you want this to end? Ji-hoon's finger tightened on the trigger. Then they all heard it, a woman scream, cut short. Ji-hoon's world ended. Mina. He started running toward the sound, not caring about tactics or safety or anything except getting to her. Kwon laughed. Look at the mighty King Ji-hoon, reduced to a lovesick boy. Your father would be. The gunshot was so sudden, so unexpected, that everyone froze. Kwon looked down at the blood blooming on his chest, confusion on his face. He turned. Mina stood 15 feet away, holding a gun she'd taken from one of Kwon's guards. Her hands shook, but her eyes were steel. My father taught me to shoot, she said, her voice trembling but strong. Never thought I'd have to use it on anything but targets. Kwon stumbled, falling to his knees. You shot me. You threatened my baby. She walked closer, the gun still raised. You burned my dreams. You terrorized my family. You tried to turn the man I love back into a monster. She stood over him. I'm done being the damsel in distress. This is my story too. Kwon coughed blood. Ji-hoon, your whore just killed me. She's not a whore, Ji-hoon said, reaching Mina's side. She's my wife. And she's a better shot than you ever were. Kwon fell forward, dead. For a moment, nobody moved. 40 guns still raised. 2 armies facing each other. Then Min-jun spoke. Kwon's men. You have 2 choices. Walk away now or die here. Choose fast. One by one, Kwan's soldiers lowered their weapons and backed away. They'd been loyal to Kwan, not his cause. With him dead, there was nothing to fight for. As they dispersed into the night, Ji-hoon gently took the gun from Mina's shaking hands. Are you okay? The baby? We're okay. The adrenaline crashed and she started sobbing. I was so scared. I thought. He pulled her into his arms, holding her as tightly as he dared with her pregnant belly between them. I know. But you're safe now. You're both safe. I killed him. You protected our family. There's a difference. Is there? She looked up at him with tears streaming down her face. I've become just like your world. Violent. Dangerous. No. You've become a mother protecting her child. That's not violence, that's love. He cupped her face. And I have never loved you more than I do right now. She kissed him desperately, trying to convince herself they were both alive, both whole, both still themselves. When they broke apart, Minjun approached carefully. Boss, we should go. Police will be here soon. Ji-hoon nodded. Clean this up. Make it look like a gang war. Nothing that traces back to us. Already on it. As they walked to the car, Mina stopped. Ji-hoon, I need to know. Are we safe now? Really safe? Or will there always be another Kwan? He was quiet for a long moment. I don't know. My father made a lot of enemies. But I promise you this. I will spend every day for the rest of my life making sure our child grows up safer than I did. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. She took his hand and placed it on her belly. Then we'd better make it enough. The next 3 months were healing. Ji-hoon doubled down on legitimizing his business. He sold off the last of the questionable operations, cut ties with anyone connected to his father's old empire, became, for all intents and purposes, a regular businessman. Mina rebuilt her dance studio bigger, better, with state-of-the-art security. She taught until her belly got too big, then she supervised. Her students became her family. And their baby grew. Active, healthy, strong. But Mina noticed changes in Ji-hoon. He slept less. Startled at loud noises. Checked the locks obsessively. The trauma of almost losing her had left scars deeper than any bullet. Talk to me, she said one night as they lay in bed, her 7-month belly between them. I'm fine. You're not. You have nightmares every night. You barely sleep. You're drowning, Ji-hoon. He was quiet for so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, I keep seeing you in that warehouse. I keep hearing you scream. And in my nightmares, I don't get there in time. I find you bleeding, our baby gone, and it's all my fault. But that didn't happen. But it could have. It almost did. He turned to face her, his eyes haunted. You had to shoot a man because of me. You had to become violent because I brought violence into your life. No. I chose violence to protect our child. That's on me. You shouldn't have had to make that choice. Maybe not. But I did. And I'd make it again. She grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. Stop carrying guilt for things that didn't happen. We're alive. We're together. We won. Did we? Or did we just survive? Isn't that the same thing? He kissed her, soft and sad. I love you so much it terrifies me. Good. I'd hate to be the only one scared out of my mind. They fell asleep tangled together, his hand on her belly, feeling their baby kick. Neither of them knew that their biggest test was still coming. At 37 weeks pregnant, Mina woke to dampness. Her water had broken. But it was too early. Something was wrong. Ji-hoon, she shook him awake. We need to go to the hospital. Now. He was up instantly, grabbing the hospital bag, his phone, his keys. Is it time? Are you in labor? I don't know. Maybe. But something feels, she gasped as pain lanced through her. Something feels wrong. They made it to the hospital in record time. The doctors examined her and their faces went serious. The baby's in distress, the lead doctor said. Heart rate is irregular. We need to monitor closely. For 6 hours, Mina labored while machines beeped and doctors conferred in hushed tones. Ji-hoon never left her side, holding her hand, whispering encouragement, looking more terrified than she'd ever seen him. You've faced guns, she panted between contractions. Why do you look so scared now? Because guns I can fight. This I can't control. I can't protect you from this. You're protecting me by being here. Another contraction. Harder. The machine started beeping frantically. Baby's heart rate is dropping, a nurse called out. The doctor made a decision. We need to do an emergency C-section. Now. And that's how we found them at the beginning, Mina being rushed to surgery, Ji-hoon on his knees praying to gods he didn't believe in. Make sure you're still subscribed because we're coming to the most emotional part of this entire story. Drop a comment with a heart emoji if you're crying already. Let's finish this. They wouldn't let Ji-hoon into the operating room at first. He had to scrub, gown up, and by the time he got there, they'd already started cutting. He sat by Mina's head, holding her hand, watching her face instead of the surgery. She was conscious, but groggy from the epidural. I'm scared, she whispered. Me too. If something happens to me, nothing's going to happen. But if it does, promise me you'll take care of our baby. Promise me you won't go back to the darkness. Mina, promise me. He kissed her forehead. I promise. But you're going to be fine. You're going to hold our baby and cry and complain about how much it hurts and be perfect. Okay. Then they heard it, a cry. Small, angry, perfect. It's a girl, the doctor announced, holding up a tiny, screaming baby covered in vernix and blood and absolutely beautiful. Ji-hoon started crying. Actually crying. A daughter. We have a daughter. They placed the baby on Mina's chest for skin-to-skin contact, and the world stopped. Everything they'd been through, the violence, the fear, the blood, the terror, all of it faded away. Their daughter had Mina's eyes and Ji-hoon's nose. She had a head full of dark curly hair. She had tiny perfect fingers that gripped Ji-hoon's pinky with surprising strength. She's perfect, Mina sobbed. She's so perfect. Just like her mother, Ji-hoon whispered, kissing Mina's forehead, then his daughter's. What should we name her? They'd discussed names for months, but never decided. Now, holding their miracle, Mina knew. Nuru Jiwon, she said. Nuru means light in Swahili. Jiwon means ambition and beauty in Korean. She's our light. Our beautiful ambition. The best parts of both our worlds. Nuru Jiwon Kang, Ji-hoon tested it out. It's perfect. She's perfect. You're perfect. He was crying so hard he could barely speak. Thank you. Thank you for her. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for choosing me. Always, Mina whispered. I'll always choose you. The recovery was hard. C-sections weren't easy. But Mina was strong and Ji-hoon was devoted. He changed every diaper, brought her water in the middle of the night, held Nuru when Mina needed to sleep. Watching him with their daughter broke and rebuilt Mina's heart every day. You're a natural, she said one night, watching him rock Nuru to sleep. I'm terrified, he admitted. She's so small. So fragile. She's stronger than she looks. Like her parents. He looked at Mina with such raw love it took her breath away. I never knew I could feel like this. Like my heart lives outside my body. Like I'd die 1,000 deaths to keep her safe. Welcome to parenthood. It's terrifying. It's everything. 1 month after Nuru's birth, on a quiet Sunday morning, Ji-hoon made an announcement. I'm done, he said. Mina looked up from nursing Nuru. Done with what? All of it. The organization, the legitimate businesses, everything connected to my father's legacy. I'm selling it all. Ji-hoon, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Every time I go to a meeting, I'm looking over my shoulder. Every business deal, I'm wondering if it's a trap. Every night I come home, I check for threats. He knelt beside her. I want to be present for you and Nuru. Not the head of an empire. Just a husband and father. What will you do? I've been thinking about that. Minjun can run the businesses. He's more than capable. I want to start something new. Something completely mine. He smiled. I want to open a music school. Classical music. My mother's dream before she married my father. Mina's eyes filled with tears. You're serious? Completely. We'll use the money from selling the businesses. You have your dance studio. I'll have my music school. Nuru will grow up surrounded by art instead of violence. What about the people who still see you as the Mafia boss? Let them. I know who I am now. I'm Nuru's father. Your husband. A man trying to be better than his bloodline. She kissed him, careful not to disturb their nursing daughter. I love you so much. I love you more. Impossible. Watch me prove it every day for the rest of our lives. 1 year later, on Nuru's first birthday, they threw a party that blended Korean and Kenyan traditions. Mina's mother flew in from Nairobi, healthy, vibrant, crying over her granddaughter. Jihoon's music school had opened to rave reviews. Mina's dance studio had expanded to 3 locations. And Nuru, perfect, beautiful Nuru, took her first steps at her own party, stumbling from Jihoon to Mina while everyone cheered. That night, after all the guests had left and Nuru was asleep, Jihoon and Mina stood on their terrace overlooking Seoul. Do you ever miss it? Mina asked. The power. The fear. People bowing when you walked in a room. Never. Not once. He pulled her against him. You know what I do miss? What? Nothing. Because everything I need is right here. That's so cheesy. You love cheesy. I really do. She turned in his arms. Do you think we're done? Done with the chaos and the violence and the threats? Honestly, I don't know. My past is long and bloody. There might always be ghosts. But I do know this. Whatever comes, we face it together. Together, she agreed. Can you handle this size of forever? He asked, echoing his question from their wedding. She smiled. Watch me. They kissed as Seoul glittered below them, 2 people from different worlds who'd built a bridge with their love. A curvy Kenyan dancer who'd brought light into darkness. A reformed Mafia boss who'd learned that true strength wasn't violence, but vulnerability. And a baby girl who represented the best of both their worlds. 3 months later, Mina had another announcement. I'm pregnant again. Jihoon dropped the dish he was washing. It shattered on the floor. You're what? Pregnant. Surprise? He stood there, dripping dish soap, staring at her with his mouth open. Then he started laughing deep, genuine, joyful laughter. We're going to have another baby? Apparently I'm very fertile and you're very potent. He crossed the kitchen in 2 strides and lifted her up, spinning her around. We're having another baby. Jihoon, put me down, I'm going to be sick. He set her down gently. Morning sickness already? All day sickness. Thank you very much. But she was smiling. Are you happy? Happy? Mina, he couldn't find words. So he showed her instead, kissing her like she was oxygen and he'd been drowning. When they broke apart, both breathless, he pressed his forehead to hers. You gave me everything I didn't know I needed. A daughter. A purpose. A reason to be better. And now another baby. His voice cracked. How did I get this lucky? You took a chance on a curvy dancer who didn't know when to be afraid of you. Best decision I ever made. Second best, she corrected. The best was choosing to be better than your father. No, that was all you. You made me want to be better. We made each other better. That's what love does. Fast forward 5 years. Nuru was 6 years old, a perfect blend of both parents. Jihoon's intensity and Mina's joy. She spoke Korean, English, and Swahili fluently. She took piano lessons at her father's music school and dance lessons at her mother's studio. Her younger brother, Zuri Minjun, named after Mina's father and Jihoon's loyal friend, was 4, all energy and mischief and unconditional love. And their youngest, a surprise baby girl named Asha Jihai, was 2, the princess who had both her father and brother wrapped around her tiny finger. The family lived in a renovated hanok, traditional Korean house on the outskirts of Seoul. It was peaceful, beautiful, everything they'd fought for. One evening, as they sat down for family dinner, something Jihoon insisted on every night, Nuru asked a question. Appa, my friend said her daddy works at a bank. What did you do before the music school? Jihoon and Mina exchanged glances. They'd always planned to tell the children when they were old enough. But was 6 years old enough? I worked for my father, Jihoon said carefully. In a business that wasn't always good. Were you a bad guy? Sometimes. Yes. I did things I'm not proud of. But you're good now? I try to be. Your mom helps me be good. Nuru thought about this seriously. Then, Yama, were you scared of Appa when you met him? Mina smiled. Terrified. But you married him anyway? I did. Why? Because I saw who he could be. Who he wanted to be. And I loved that person. Nuru nodded like this made perfect sense. I'm glad you weren't too scared. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. Jihoon's eyes got misty. Mina reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Neither am I, baby girl," Mina said. "Neither am I." That night, after all the children were asleep, Jihoon pulled Mina onto their bedroom balcony. "I have something for you," he said. "It's not my birthday. I don't need a reason to give my wife gifts." He handed her a folder. Inside were property deeds to her old neighborhood in Nairobi. He'd purchased an entire block and built a community center, dance studios, music rooms, medical clinic, education programs. "Jihoon, this is too much. It's not enough. You changed my life. Let me help you change others." He pulled her close. "The Mina Achingkong Community Center opens next month. I thought we could take the kids. Show them where you came from. Let them understand both sides of their heritage." She was crying now. "How are you so perfect?" "I'm not perfect. I'm just a man who loves his wife and wants to make her dreams come true. All my dreams already came true. You, our babies, this life. Then let's dream bigger." They stood there, wrapped in each other, and Mina thought about the journey. From a struggling dancer to a woman who'd